for better or for worse, more for worse, our Senator Ron Johnson talking about economic growth.
Senator Corbin and Senator Hatch, thank you for inviting me to join my colleagues here and for your leadership in promoting the private sector, because I think Senator Hatch understands that it's the private sector that creates long-term self-sustaining jobs, not government. So I'm here today really to speak as a business person. Now, I don't claim to speak for every business person in America, but the fact is I've been operating in the private sector, manufacturing business for the last 31 years. And I'm used to dealing with business leaders, people that accomplish something, people that know how to solve problems, people know how to get things done. And I can tell you that business leaders, when they look at Washington, they see a couple things. They see a system that's horribly broken.
Okay. Hopefully none of you lose your cookies after hearing that. I'm going to step over to the little chart here. So, economics. First of all, what was the core of his talk relating to?
Individualism, private good, government bad.
Yes.
Private sector.
Right? Private sector good. Public, which is government, is bad.
And the business leaders are the best. Yeah.
Right. They're moral, right?
Yeah.
They're business leaders, they're succeeding. Why? Because they're disciplined and they're moral.
Well, because they inherited it.
What was... But more importantly, what does all this relate to? Right? So you have the immoral government, you have the moral business sector, the private industry. What was it all about? Job creation. So now, look at the governor's race and tell me, why is it a problem that Mary Burke's centerpiece of her campaign is job creation?
Because it reinforces Scott Walker's position.
I would say more importantly than that. It is somebody who is running as a Democrat, reinforcing the entire conservative frame of economics, which is that it is the private sector that are the job creators.
And it's the strict father business leaders we need to worship.
Exactly. Which is why banksters don't go to jail. Which is why communities give up millions of dollars in TIF money for private development. Which is why sand mines exist. Think about it. Think beyond a current campaign. Think in big terms. This has been repeated for decades. Right? So now, how would you counter that in the progressive frame? It's one thing that should stick out right away. Well,
Private life is not possible without the public.
Exactly. Ron Johnson, could you have been successful as a businessman without the public?
No.
How did you get your goods to market? Roads, internet, rail?
Isn't that Elizabeth Warren's speech?
Exactly.
Isn't that what they turned it around on him? Well, when Barack Obama said, you didn't build that.
He said it wrong.
Yeah.
Barack Obama tried it and he screwed it up.
You know, they turned it
No,
around.
he said it wrong. He said you didn't build that. Not, what should he have said?
We
You didn't do it alone.
Yes,
We the people built that.
you didn't do it alone. You did not profit. You did not make your profits alone. We all helped you.
Without public help, you wouldn't have the business you
Exactly. Look, think about it. The court system, right? What is the biggest use of the court system? Business. Try running a business without the publicly funded courts. Try hiring employees that aren't educated in the public schools. Try building your own sewer system.
Well, they package their message that they succeed despite government, not because of government.
But it's we need to get government out of the way to succeed. Right? There's a slight difference. Is that the people who are out in front of this say, we need to get government out of the way. Look, I spend a lot of time in Chicago. I hear Rahm Emanuel saying it all the time. And he's a Dem. Well, right. So it's private freedom and prosperity don't exist without the public, which is all of us. And we've got to take back the idea of government. Government is all of us.
So when are they going to stop? Why would they think that they're going to say whatever government has is rotten?
When they hear it from enough people.
Okay.
Right? And with all due respect to all the candidates and elected officials here, they're not the leaders, folks. Okay? You have to make the parade, they'll follow the parade. When your elected officials start hearing these ideas over and over and over again from their constituents, they'll start saying them, but they're not going to start saying them until you do. Would you agree with that? Because the media are going to look at them and go, what the hell are you talking about? So I've got a couple. You can take down some notes on here. I put some ideas down. So you've got private prosperity enterprise are not possible without the public, which is all of us, right? I mean, just stop using the term government. Start calling it the public or we the people. Community, perfect. Okay? Senator Johnson, democracy is all of us acting through the public to expand freedom. You're taking away people's freedoms. More people are poor because of your policies. You're inhibiting and impinging on people's freedoms. I love this one. This whole idea of a job creator, it's a myth. There are no job creators. Right? His heart. Did he just say, wow, I'm going to start this company and I'm going to create jobs? No. Why did he start the company? Make a profit. Why did he hire workers? Because he's going to make money. Those workers are profit creators. Right? When you start thinking of workers as profit creators, it completely changes your idea of economics. Right? Because then it's a system. Right? Those workers are profit creators, and since they created that profit, they deserve a fair share of it. So they can, live reasonably prosperous lives. See, that's really important. See, here's a hint. One of the things conservatives love to do is this thing called direct causation. Right? Schools are failing because they're bad teachers. Direct causation. Right? People are poor because they don't work hard enough. Right? We should arrest all the criminals and put them in jail because they're bad. Touche. But think about it, right? There's very easy language for direct causation. Okay, we need to start, as progressives, pointing out systemic causation. And systemic causation means that we have crime because we have high income inequality. We have poverty. We have, all sorts of, a lot of issues that contribute to crime. that we need to address all those issues. Okay, why do we have an education system problem? Well, we have a funding formula problem. We have huge segregation in high poverty areas that are creating issues. We need to start talking about these systems as opposed to acknowledging direct causation, which is a job creator. A job creator means that there's somebody there making a job, right? It's a system, right? Workers are profit creators. When they get a fair share of profit, they participate in the economy. That creates more demand for products and services, which means that then companies have the opportunity to hire more workers so they can create more profits and give more people a fair share and create a more robust economy for everyone, right? We have to start talking about systems. So that's why the profit creator thing is so wonderful. Also, empathy, right? We have a responsibility for others as ourselves, right? Senator Johnson, you're talking about an economy that leaves thousands of people behind. We have a responsibility to take care of our brothers and sisters, to take care of our community. And, you know, I know that that sounds really like surface and touchy-feely, but would Ron Johnson ever say, we don't have a responsibility to take care of others?
That's my question. Where does he feel this?
Does
he feel this? Does he understand
Sure.
what he's doing? And he's just giving it back to us just to play the game?
No, he believes what he's saying at a fundamental moral level. But in a debate, if you challenge him and says, you know, so you're saying that when you were a business owner in Oshkosh that you didn't have a responsibility to the rest of the community? You were just in it for yourself? Would he agree with that? I doubt it. Not in public, anyway. Again, just to reiterate, reject the idea of job creator. Okay? It's a fiction. It's the same thing as saying, oh, I got this idea out of thin air. I created this job because I thought I'd be a nice guy and create a bunch of jobs. No, you hired workers because they were going to make profit for you. If you weren't going to make profit with hiring those workers, you wouldn't have hired them. Kind of tells a lot about our economic situation, doesn't it? Why is the economy so stagnant? So, any other thoughts on, yeah?
Another way to kind of put that too, you could ask him, so how many of your current employees, you know, that you pay, do not create profit for you?
Great.
Zero.
Exactly. You would ask somebody, say Ron Johnson, how many workers do you employ that don't contribute to your profits?
I hired 1,000 last week.
Just
one, Ron.
Yes, yourself not included. That's, brilliant, right? Yep.
You were saying before about the strict father model type thing. Now, I understand that, but isn't, and you said that even conservatives are part of each, and not all, you know.
Most, yeah.
Well, it goes back to Richard Nixon, who was raised very poor, and he had two brothers that died from tuberculosis. And for that reason, he tried to get national health care through way back then.
Right.
So,
Yeah, it confirms, yes. And, a good example, like, sometimes look at Kathleen Weintraub's statement on when she announced that she was running again. It was great, right? Her campaign is about what kind of community do we want for the future? Right? So even people who are conservative are going to want a prosperous community. Right? So that answers a lot of questions about what we want for our schools, what we want for our roads, for our bridges, for our, for everything. Well, they're defunding, local community, state aid, shared revenue, right? Well, that hurts our state. That hurts our communities, right? So is that what we want for the future? Everybody's going to answer no. We want a prosperous community. See, it's really powerful when you turn it around and not validate this idea of a job creator, right? It's about the community. And I would argue this idea of freedom for everybody, right? Expanding freedom for more people. You have an economy that impinges on a bunch of people's freedom. How does that help?
The headline is Scott Walker criminal. Is that actually helping?
We'll do Scott Walker last. So I think it's going to move on.